And all right, everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we got a dead horse we're going to beat a little bit tonight. And that dead horse is named Bioware, and let me tell you, man, that horse is really getting to be on its last legs. Let's cue up the music and we'll get right to it. Looks like Bioware is down to less than 100 employees after mass layoffs decimate the Dragon Age the Veilguard studio. We just can't stop talking about this company, that game, and the repercussions it's had on the studio and probably on the industry at large. The previously reported Bioware layoffs have gutted the once legendary RPG studio, leaving it with fewer than 100 employees, according to a new report from Bloomberg. I think Jason Schreier wrote that article. This is a stunning decline from the more than 200 developers who worked on Dragon Age the Veilguard, and an even more dramatic fall from BioWare's peak when the company operated across 3 studios and employed well over 400 people. This is bad. This shows you, we talk about get woke, go broke. This is what happens. This is inevitable every single time, okay? You drink from this poison cup and it kills you every single time. I don't know why companies keep doing it. I don't know why they think that this time it's going to be something different. It never is. These guys got to stop it. Skeleton Key just hired Corinne Bush, the freaking dude that thinks he's a girl, the director of the Veilguard. Just hired this person to direct a new game. I mean, they may as well just throw away the money right now, throw it in the fire and burn it. Save the time of the developers, you know, and then fire them all and just let them move on their merry way so they can go get new jobs, save a portion of their lives and keep whatever crap game they're going to be working on off their resumes. It's unreal, man. This industry is so broken. It is so broken. It is so full of garbage humans, these twisted people that put ideology over quality. Nowhere else in the world, no other industry, for the most part, other than maybe entertainment portions of industry like movies, for instance, do you see people push ideology over quality. And it's freaking ridiculous, man. It really is. Electronic Arts' restructuring of BioWare was initially framed as a way to reallocate talent to other projects, particularly as Mass Effect remains in early production. Is it ever going to see the light of day? Despite being announced 5 years ago, however, as more details emerge, it's clear that this wasn't just a shift in resources. It was the culmination of years of mismanagement and decline, leading to a near total collapse of BioWare as a development powerhouse. Remember, 200 developers, 10 years, and hundreds of $1 million spent on the Veilguard. To have less than 1.5 million people engage with the game. We don't even know what that means. Anyway, at its height, BioWare was one of the most respected RPG studios in the world, delivering genre-defining experiences with Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. But under EA's leadership, the studio has been in a steady decline for the past decade, with each new project plagued by creative confusion, studio mismanagement, and an increasing emphasis on live service monetization over strong storytelling. God, it's just a sad, sad story. You see it time and time again. EA excels at putting out sports games. The same game slapped with a new coat of paint and a couple brand new features or upgraded features every year. Upgraded rosters, a new coat of paint, and some new or upgraded features year after year after year. They charge them a premium price for it, and then they charge microtransactions for it. I don't know how they get away with it. I honestly don't know how people buy these games year after year. To me, that's kind of insane, but it's probably the only game they play. And if that's the case, well, you can afford that year after year. It's like, well, yeah, I'll go buy the new Madden game or whatever they're calling it these days, the NFL game, and oh yeah, I'll throw some money into microtransactions. It's their form of entertainment. It's your money, you spend it however you want. That's fine. I'm not disparaging people for doing that. If that's what entertains you, that's fine. People make fun of me for, buying the games I buy, but that's fine. but I just don't get it, you know. Anyway, while EA's latest restructuring announcement tried to downplay the Bioware layoffs, the numbers speak for themselves. More than half of the studio has been wiped out since work began on the Veilguard, and the final blow came after the game's disastrous performance. EA had originally planned to loan developers to other teams while Mass Effect was still in early production, but once it became clear that the Veilguard had missed its sales target by nearly 50%, these relocations became permanent, with over 20 additional staff members laid off outright. And the director scurried off like a rat from a sinking ship. I know they were fired, but they made it seem like they just, took off for a better opportunity. To truly grasp the scale of BioWare's downfall, it's worth looking at where the studio stood in previous years. In 2010, 15 years ago, BioWare Montreal was established, eventually leading to development in Mass Effect Andromeda with a team of over 300 people. 2014, BioWare Austin had between 80 and 150 developers working on Shadow Realms, a game that was later canceled. 2017 reports suggested 320 employees were working at BioWare Edmonton, the studio's original flagship location. 2019, BioWare had a combined workforce of around 400 to 500 employees, spanning Edmonton, Austin, and Montreal. Compare that to today, with BioWare operating as a single team operation with fewer than 100 employees. This level of downsizing signals that EA has no long-term vision for the studio beyond one final shot at reviving Mass Effect. If they muff that punt, they're done. I mean, they are done. They will shut the doors completely on BioWare, and they will sunset it forever and cast those people to the four winds, man. That's what'll happen. And who's left, right? Who's left? And what's left? Was everybody at that company a Cory Bush type person, an activist? I mean, there had to be some good people there, right? There had to be some decent folks. Hopefully those are the ones that they kept. Hopefully they kept a core group of good developers that they can build on, people that can go back to the original greatness of the first Mass Effect games and recapture that magic and give something new to the fan base. They deserve it, right? I mean, those were great games. I played those games. They were a lot of fun. The third one was okay, but it was still a freaking worlds better than any of the stuff coming out lately for the most part. Andromeda was, that wasn't anything great. Most people don't even really look at that as a quote-unquote real Mass Effect game. It's the first three. It's the original trilogy that counts. And the first two of those were just, they're timeless. Absolutely timeless. So hopefully they have a good enough core team to build on. And if this game develops and if it sees the light of day, I just hope they continue to build on that team and bring in good developers and not a bunch of clowns and activists and, they-thems that just want to inject their ideology into everything. They're like cancer. They're cancer, man. That's what they are. There's no better way to describe them than they're like cancer cells. They get into a place and they start to spread. And they spread their disease. And it impacts everyone. And people are afraid to push back against them. So, they let them win. They let them win. And here's the real problem is, if you want to fight this cancer, you got to go to the heart of it and purge it there. And that's the HR departments. That's where it all is. Once you get these dirtbags into your HR department, you're done. You're absolutely done. You got to go in with a freaking, a hot laser and just burn them out. Burn out that cancer in the HR department and fill the HR department with normal-based people. And then you can work from the inside out and clean up your company and get it back to rights. Well, the BioWare layoffs are just the latest in a long series of missteps that have eroded the company's standing as North America's premier RPG developer. EA squandered BioWare's reputation through constant pivots, misguided live service experiments, and a complete misunderstanding of what made the studio successful in the first place. Games like Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem were clear warning signs that EA was steering BioWare in the wrong direction. The Veilguard cemented that failure with its heavy-handed identity politics, alienation of longtime fans, and fundamental misunderstanding of what players wanted from the franchise. Now with BioWare at its weakest, EA appears to be setting up Mass Effect as a last-ditch effort to justify the studio's continued existence. Veilguard couldn't have been further from what fans wanted. And it seems like everything they've done since EA took over has just been less and less of what BioWare is known for. And this seems to happen a lot when larger companies take over these smaller ones, is they try to force this other vision onto them. And we see it a lot with like Xbox and even Sony sometimes with their companies, and they take over these smaller companies as they try to force them to do something that goes against what they're good at, and they fail. And then they close the doors on the company, and it sucks. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for the gamers. It sucks for the developers. It sucks for the publisher, because they lose too. Anyway, do you guys think BioWare is going to survive this, man? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Think Mass Effect's going to be successful? You think it's even going to see the light of day? I mean, that's a good question there. If it does, is it going to be woke garbage? Is it going to be Mass Effect, the Veilguard in space? Is Colonel Shepard going to come out and be non-binary? God, I have no idea. I have no idea at this point. Good luck, BioWare. You're going to need it. Anyway, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.